Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here.
If you are feeling despair over Trump's second regime, I completely understand. Yet I'm still hopeful about America. There are ample reasons for despair, but Trump's second term is exposing a reality that has been hidden from most Americans: the raw, stinking power of the American oligarchy and its use of obscene wealth to gain this power. My hope is founded on Americans seeing and responding to this reality. Trump is planning another giant tax cut for the wealthy. To pay for it, he's giving two billionaires, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the authority to target programs average Americans rely on. He's putting billionaires in charge of key departments. Meanwhile, CEOs are descending on Mar-a-Lago like moths to a flame in order to curry Trump's favor. Musk, the richest person in America, has turned his giant media platform, X, into a cesspool of lies and bigotry in support of Trump. Jeff Bezos, the second richest person in America and owner of Amazon, has reportedly agreed to pay $40 million for Melania Trump's documentary, for which she's executive producer. Previously, Bezos blocked the newspaper he owns, The Washington Post, from endorsing Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Mark Zuckerberg, the third richest person in America, has chosen to allow lies and bigotry on Facebook and Instagram, presumably in support of Trump. Zuckerberg says the deciding factor for doing this was the cultural tipping point of Trump's election. And this is just the beginning of the oligarchic takeover under Trump. So why am I hopeful? Because Americans don't abide aristocracy. We were founded in revolt against unaccountable power and wealth. We will not tolerate this blatant takeover. There will be a backlash, and we will respond by helping our communities and protecting the most vulnerable. And we'll also respond in the 2026 midterms and the 2028 presidential election by electing true leaders who care about working people and the common good. And just as we did at the end of the first Gilded Age, when the oligarchy revealed its hubris and grandiosity, we will demand and get fundamental reforms, big money out of politics, higher taxes on the wealthy to pay for what most Americans need, busting up giant corporations, regulating big finance, holding huge social media platforms accountable to the public. On the path we were on, the sludge had been thickening even under Democratic administrations. There were fundamental systemic flaws that remained unaddressed. Inequalities have continued to widen. Corruption and bribery have worsened. We were on the way to losing our democracy without even knowing it. But as a friend put it, authoritarian forces have been building for years. Like the pus in an ugly boil, she said. The only way we work up enough outrage to lance it is for the boil to get so big and ugly that it disgusts all of us. A few years of another Trump regime, even more disgusting than the first, will be hard on many. We cannot gloss over the magnitude of the suffering that will occur. But when the oligarchy that controls us is exposed for what it is, the nation will see more clearly than ever before that we have no alternative other than to take back power. Only then can we continue the real work of America, the pursuit of equality and prosperity for the many, not the few.
I want the back pay, the right pay that I should have got paid. This goes into the government. This goes into wealthy families. She's not trying to go get a job. She's not trying to go get no education. You're not getting in this line. That, not this lineage. We don't do that. We earn, we work. We can't even get our basic needs met. What that's about? You want to keep on making new iPhones and cell phones and all that, and they ain't coming out with new features. For what? And now cell phones up to $1,300 for what? I've been going through for a while. I've been suffering for a while. I've been under attack after attack after attack after attack after attack after attack after attack. How long? I'm 43 years old. I don't want to fight no more. I'm sick of this. This world is evil and wicked.
So it wasn't mercy.
No, it was judgment. You didn't give me mercy. You didn't give me mercy. I asked for mercy. I waved my white flag.
You feel powerful.
I don't want to feel powerful. I wanted to live amongst you and love you.
I'm saying about tonight. Did that make you feel powerful?
No, I didn't want to do that. It's not what God wants to do. But you spared a ride, you spoiled a child. And there's consequences sometimes. And that was the judgment. Sorry, but not sorry.
That's
I know
why
y'all
you
don't belong over here
Over where?
in the United States.
Who don't?
Y'all don't.
Who's y'all?
Y'all don't. Y'all know who y'all is.
Us too.
Y'all don't belong
Okay.
over here. Fair is fair. You attempted on me, and I beat you at your own game. Checkmate. How am I wrong when you started the attack?
Are you sorry that you had to do it?
Yeah, because I didn't want to. Like I said, I wanted to be redeemed. When y'all decided to crucify me, you already made a judgment. You didn't give me no option in the choice. You made the choice. I didn't. I just followed what you said. So I crucified. And all I wanted to do was love. That hurt me. Because I didn't want to. Y'all killed my heart and I lived.
I'm Ellen Leva, live from ABC7. California has declared a state of emergency in response to the bird flu. Governor Gavin Newsom made the proclamation in order to streamline and expedite the state's response to the virus. This virus has spread to 16 states, and California has reported 34 human cases. That's more than any other state. All infected individuals had exposure to infected cattle, and California also has the greatest number of cattle herds infected.
We have a safety alert. Spartanburg County just had a confirmed case of the bird flu. The CDC has this map of cases across the country. It says the virus was reported about 2 weeks ago in a flock of 490 birds. It's right here. This is Spartanburg County there on the map. So far, it has not spread to humans here in the Carolinas, but it is a concern.
Normally with outbreaks like this, it's usually gone within a season. This is the longest foreign animal disease outbreak that we've experienced. And as you were talking about earlier, that's what's given it more of a chance to continue to mutate, which is why people are watching it much more closely.
The USDA reports more than 32 million birds have been infected by this virus in the last 4 months. 16 states currently report the virus has spread to cattle. There have been 67 human cases and 1 human death. The person who died was in Louisiana and had underlying health conditions.
The biggest concern is would avian influenza virus mix with a human virus and thus make it easier to not only infect humans, but then the big jump of human to human, causing a new pandemic type. So that's always been the greatest concern.
Now, farmers can take several measures to protect their cattle and poultry. Clemson experts are giving these tips. Wear goggles or glasses and a mask when you're around animals. Wear different clothing and then take those off before going inside. Try to separate your birds from wild ones. This includes wild birds in ponds and streams. If your animals do get sick and start dying, report it right away. We have a number on your screen. Clemson University can test your animals for the bird flu or other viruses. We will also have that number on our website. Again, we do not have any human cases of the bird flu here in the Carolinas, but we will keep you updated if anything changes.
These viruses get selected and they become more and more fit for different hosts and they spread. So we have to keep an eye on this and be vigilant. It's not a threat to the general public right now. What's a little different about H5N1 is that it seems like it's moving in slow motion. This one first popped up in 1997. We've had it with us for decades, and we've been warning that these things are going to happen. It's just happening very slowly. Part of the difference is that certainly in the last 20 or 30 years, our surveillance efforts and our ability to track these things has gone up dramatically. We know more about where to look. So we have that information on what's happening. It's always good to have more information on these things so that we can act and make the right decisions than to have less.
As part of his blitz of executive orders issued yesterday, President Trump also delivered on a campaign promise to withdraw the United States from the World Health Organization. The White House accuses the WHO of mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic, biased towards China, and says the U.S. is forced to pay more than its fair share to support the international organization.
The Trump administration has told federal health agencies to pause external communications. That includes scientific reports and health advisories. The CDC, FDA, and the NIH are all impacted by the president's order. These agencies routinely release information on food recalls, drug approvals, and public health threats.
The Trump administration has told federal health agencies to pause external communications. According to sources, that includes regular scientific reports, updates to websites, and health advisories. The order came without warning as to what exactly it covers or how long the pause would last. The move isn't unheard of for an incoming administration, though, but one source says the scope of this order appears to be unusual. America's health agencies, including the CDC, FDA, and NIH, routinely release information on food recalls, drug and medical device approvals, and evolving public health threats.